Miss Coulter.
Good morning, Miss Coulter.
Good morning, Miss Coulter. We have not watched a video this morning. Instead, we are covering a lot of material. We looked at the tabernacle and what it would have looked at like, the layout of it. We talked about Solomon's temple, the very first temple, and the beauty of it. So, Jasmine, how does the three circles relate to what we were talking about? With the first temple, why was the first temple destroyed?
Because all the people were really bad.
They were. They were not following God's design. They were sinning. So even before the first temple was destroyed, we could see that cycle of sin and brokenness with even Moses and the first generation of Israelites in the wilderness. How is that? Did they inherit the promised land?
They didn't go to the promised land.
No. Who did?
Their son and daughters.
Yeah, their children, the second generation. So then we also looked at the second temple and how, what did Jesus say about that temple? Because that was in Jesus' time where he taught there during Holy Week. Did he predict that that temple would be destroyed?
He did.
Mm-hmm. So as I was flipping through the pages, this caught Jasmine's eye. Jasmine's going to tell you about this.
So these are the tribes of
Israel? Yeah, the 12 tribes of Israel.
And that one's Jesus' tribe, what he was in.
And that's the tribe of Judah.
This one's Dan's tribe.
Mm-hmm.
That one I don't really know yet.
Which one did we talk the most about this morning?
This one.
Well, he was in the story of Joseph. Yeah.
Joseph.
Yes, and I was very proud of Jasmine because I got something wrong, and she got it right. I was reminding her of the story of Joseph, and
then she said that the wheat was actually corn.
In Pharaoh's dream. Yeah, Pharaoh had two dreams, one about the cows and one about the stalk. And I remembered it as corn, even though I was just in Genesis like for 2 weeks, the past 2 weeks. And she said, no, it's grain. And I said, well, let's go to Genesis and find out. And she was right. We also talked about the Exodus. And what song did we sing from Exodus?
The Song of the Sea.
Yeah, and why did we sing that? What did we talk about with that?
Because every time they prayed, they would sing that song.
Yeah, we learned that every morning the Israelites sing that song. And I would imagine that there are many Jews, even today, who still sing the Song of the Sea every single morning as they wake up and worship God. And then they also sing it as part of their Passover celebration.
Hey, Miss Coulter, we're making leavening agent, and there's a frog in this box that I just caught, and I felt his little toe. He's about to jump out, but I have the box rubber band.
She's holding on to it so her daddy can see when he gets home from work this evening. So in our Bible study this morning, we talked about, what are these things? All of these?
You are amazing. I just want to use you right now.
So Jasmine really loves the cans that the baking powder comes in. But what is baking powder and baking soda and yeast? It's called a...
leavening agent.
That's right, leavening agent. And what is leaven? What does it do? A tiny bit.
It's so much.
It can make it become so much, yeah. So it makes our breads and cakes nice and...
fluffy.
Yeah, makes them rise and become fluffy. And in the Bible, Jesus, he used it as a symbol of...
the lion.
Well,
Leavening agent?
he was the Lion of the tribe of Judah, but whenever he talked about a little leaven leavens the whole lump, what was he saying?
You meant about sin, like it's just even a tiny, tiny bit. Tiny. Can be so much.
And he was talking about, he was using the leaven as a symbol of...
The frog?
No. What is in our heart sometimes?
Love.
Well, that's what he gives us. But before we accept him, we have...
Sin.
That's right. Sin. And so during Passover, Jewish families, they get rid of all the leaven in their house right before Passover. So that way they can have their flatbread.
The leaven.
So as they prepare for Passover, they get rid of the leaven in their house to show that they're sweeping all the sin out. And then they leave a tiny bit of leaven in the house so the kids can do what?
Find it.
Yeah. And we rejoice because as Christians, we know that Jesus has swept our sins away. And that gives us joy.
Miss Coulter, would you like to see the frog?
What did you name your frog?
What did I name again?
What did you name your frog?
Gilbert.
Gilbert. Gilbert the frog.
And he's really jumpy too.
Oh!
We got him a tunnel and grass
He's
and
okay.
stuff.
Yeah. He's cozy in his cave.
Bye-bye, Miss Coulter.
Bye, Miss Coulter. Hope you have a great day and a wonderful Passover.